This is the most important room for weather in the entire state of Georgia.
Because we're here every day. You know, we've studied the patterns and the uniqueness of everything we get in this area.
It's the National Weather Service Atlanta headquarters in Peachtree City.
We serve 96 counties in north and central Georgia, so we have a very large footprint in the state, and probably one of the largest forecast areas in the whole country.
David Nadler and his team of 12 meteorologists work around the clock to help prepare Georgians for all the elements. Since January, the National Weather Service has lost around 500 employees. I asked David how these cuts are affecting his team.
When it first came out that there were quote-unquote cuts in NOAA, everybody immediately thought the Weather Service, because we are probably the most visible agency to the public, but our numbers were relatively small in the cuts compared to some of the other agencies in NOAA.
The Atlanta office has lost 3 meteorologists since the start of the year, but David says they're still fully equipped to keep us safe.
I mean, we're not fully staffed right now, but we really never have been. There's never, not in my experience, a time where we miss an event because we're understaffed. This is our forecast area.
As the warning coordination meteorologist, it's David's job to communicate with local government officials and emergency managers when bad weather is coming.
Here, and it's moving. The decisions that they have to make prior to and during and even after these significant events really come down to the relationships that we build on a day-to-day basis.
According to the National Weather Service website, there are 22 vacant warning coordination meteorologist positions nationwide. This includes the office in Austin, Texas, that oversees the region of the Guadalupe River where the devastating flood occurred early on July 4th. That office confirms it had 3 extra meteorologists working the night of the flood. But Kirk County has faced scrutiny over its lack of preparedness, with some residents saying they had no idea the flood was happening. This comes just weeks after 5 former National Weather Service directors wrote a letter to the American people warning them that the staffing shortages could hinder their ability to provide timely and accurate warnings.
I think
one of the meteorologists that left the Atlanta office is Stephen Nelson, who had been there for 31 years.
There were a few hundred that left from the Weather Service, all in that April 30th time frame.
He took a voluntary retirement at the end of April when budget cuts led the National Weather Service to reduce its staff by 10%.
You had about 5 weeks to decide and apply within that time frame. It wasn't much time.
Stephen said it's imperative that all National Weather Service offices are fully staffed 24/7.
I mean, I think there was a chronic understaffing before this was going on in January. I think, it was sort of an approach to reduce agencies across the board, assuming they were fully staffed perhaps, but that wasn't the case in the Weather Service. We were already going through some challenges that meant offices weren't fully staffed. I feel like, yes, those positions need to be filled.
So it's clear that both David and Stephen agree that our local office in Atlanta has been less impacted by the cuts than other smaller offices across the country. But the 2026 proposed budget, it cuts NOAA by an additional 30%. So we could be having a very different conversation by this time next year. So here's what you can do to make sure that you stay safe. Open your phone right now. Go to your settings, then go down to notifications, scroll all the way to the bottom of the notifications. You'll see government warnings. Under government warnings, make sure your emergency warnings are on. That way you will get all of the National Weather Service warnings, even if your phone is on Do Not Disturb or silent in the middle of the night.